congrats to Caitlin Clark. Not because she lost and the Fever are no longer in the WNBA playoffs, but what a rookie season for the best player in basketball.
Now that Indiana is out and Caitlin Clark is out. So it's not a good thing for the WNBA. Ratings will go way down.
Imagine a meteor striking the earth. That's what Caitlin Clark's exit from the WNBA playoffs felt like for fans and league executives alike.
Clark, mid-range jumper, Fever within 5.
The basketball world is still reeling, and the aftershocks are shaking the very foundation of the WNBA. Today, we're diving deep into the seismic shift caused by Clark's absence and what it means for the future of women's basketball, instantly becoming the biggest star in all of sports.
The dead-eye passes.
That's an absolute dime.
Yeah, you heard that right. Not just women's sports, but all sports. This wasn't just hype. Clark backed it up with jaw-dropping performances that left fans and opponents alike in awe. Her rookie stats, mind-blowing. 19.2 points per game, a league-leading 8-point assists, and she became the first rookie ever to notch 2 triple-doubles in a single season. But it wasn't just about the numbers. Clark's deep three-pointers, no-look passes, and clutch plays turned every game into must-see TV. Remember that 35-point explosion against the Dallas Wings? Or how about when she dished out a stunning 19 assists in another game against the same team? Clark wasn't just playing basketball. She was redefining it. Now, here's where things get real. Before Clark's arrival, the WNBA was struggling to grab eyeballs. But when she stepped on the court, viewership skyrocketed by a whopping 400%. Let that sink in.
Jones set a good screen on me, and I actually popped my eardrum. I'm sure
What the league took years to accomplish, Clark did in a single season. Her playoff debut, nearly 2 million fans tuned in. Compare that to other playoff games barely scraping 400,000 viewers. We're talking about a rookie single-handedly carrying the league on her shoulders.
Caitlin Clark, absolutely ridiculous.
But it's not just about TV ratings. Ticket sales tell an even more impressive story. The WNBA saw a 16% increase in ticket sales in 2023, but with Clark's arrival in 2024, that number exploded to 93%. Without her star power, it would have taken until 2030 to see those kinds of numbers. But here's the kicker. With Clark out of the playoffs, the WNBA is facing a viewership crisis. The drop is dramatic, with some reports suggesting a 20% decline almost overnight.
be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better, and before we know it, I'm sure we'll all be back here and ready for the next year.
Arenas that were once packed to the rafters now have empty seats. The electric atmosphere that Clark brought to every game,
But you're scoring in a hurry.
Gone. This isn't just about losing a star player. It's about losing the cultural phenomenon that Clark had become. She wasn't just attracting die-hard basketball fans. She was pulling in people who'd never watched a WNBA game in their lives. And let's be clear, this isn't a slight on the other incredible talent in the league. Players like Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart are still putting up MVP caliber performances. But the hard truth is, they haven't been able to capture the public's imagination the way Clark did. Clark's impact went far beyond what happened during the 40 minutes of play. Merchandise sales exploded, with her signature items selling out in hours. The Indiana Fever, once an afterthought, became one of the hottest tickets in sports. Attendance for their home games shot up by an unbelievable 500%. But it wasn't just about money and crowds. Clark inspired a generation of young players. Kids were practicing deep threes in their driveways, dreaming of being the next Caitlin Clark. She made the impossible seem possible, and in doing so, she elevated the entire sport. Coaches reported a surge in young girls signing up for basketball camps. Sports stores couldn't keep women's basketball jerseys in stock. Clark wasn't just a player, she was a movement.
Clark, and with Coach Sides, we asked them.
Now, the WNBA faces a serious challenge. How do you keep fans engaged when your biggest star is sidelined? The league is scrambling to maintain the momentum Clark generated. But let's be real, it's an uphill battle. Many fans have openly admitted they only started watching WNBA games because of Clark. With her gone, their interest has faded faster than a Clark fast break. It's a stark reminder of how fragile fan engagement can be, especially for a league still fighting for mainstream recognition. The WNBA now has to answer some tough questions. How do you market a league when your most marketable asset is gone? How do you convince casual fans that there's more to see, even without Clark on the court? Some critics argue that the WNBA didn't do enough to capitalize on Clark's popularity. They say the league should have built more marketing and engagement strategies around her to create a more sustainable fan base. But hindsight is 20/20, and no one could have predicted just how massive Clark's impact would be.
Space here. The screen comes off, drains a three. That's one of the few good looks, and it's not even that great of a look that she's got.
Others argue that the league became too reliant on Clark, putting all their eggs in one basket. They say this viewership crisis is a wake-up call for the WNBA to diversify its star power and marketing strategies.
WNBA, I think Caitlin Clark just answered that a little bit.
So, what's next for the WNBA? The playoffs are still ongoing, but without Clark, they've lost that spark that had everyone talking. The challenge now is to find ways to recapture that energy and excitement. Some suggestions floating around include: 1. Highlighting other young stars who could potentially fill the Clark-size hole. 2. Doubling down on storytelling to create emotional connections with fans. 3. Innovating game broadcasts to make them more engaging for casual viewers. 4. Leveraging social media and digital platforms to keep fans connected. 5. Creating more interactive experiences for fans, both in arena and at home. 6. Partnering with influencers and celebrities to broaden the league's appeal. But let's be honest, none of these are quick fixes. The WNBA is in for a tough fight to maintain relevance without its brightest star. This situation raises some uncomfortable questions about the state of women's basketball. Is the WNBA too reliant on individual stars? Can the league survive and thrive without a transcendent talent like Clark?
Hounding Clark. Clark, step back three, knocks it down.
These are issues that need serious consideration as the WNBA plots its future course. It also brings up broader questions about gender equality in sports. Why does it take a once-in-a-generation talent like Clark to bring attention to women's basketball? Why isn't the consistently high level of play across the league enough to attract and retain fans? But it's not all doom and gloom. Clark's impact has shown that there's a huge appetite for women's basketball when it's presented the right way. She's proven that WNBA players can be household names, cultural icons, and inspirations to millions. The challenge now is to build on that foundation. Clark has opened doors and shattered ceilings. It's up to the league and its other stars to step up and keep those doors open. Moreover, Clark's success has sparked important conversations about investment in women's sports. From better TV deals to increased sponsorship opportunities, her impact could lead to long-term positive changes for the WNBA and women's sports as a whole. Caitlin Clark will be back, and when she returns, you can bet the eyes of the basketball world will be on her once again. But the WNBA can't afford to just sit back and wait. They need to use this time to innovate, to find new ways to engage fans, and to build a league that can thrive even when its biggest stars are sidelined. This could be a turning point for the WNBA. They could use this challenge as a catalyst for change, implementing new strategies to grow the game and attract a wider audience. It's an opportunity to prove that women's basketball is more than just one player, no matter how extraordinary that player might be. As we wrap up, let's remember this. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the game of basketball. She changed the game for women's sports as a whole. Her impact will be felt for years to come. She showed that women's basketball can be exciting, dynamic, and worthy of primetime slots. She proved that female athletes can dominate headlines and drive ticket sales. Most importantly, she inspired a generation of young girls to dream big and aim high. The question now is, what will the WNBA do with the platform she's built?
She does it time and time again, the 40-piece, and walks off with the W.
How will they honor her legacy while also pushing the league forward? The ball's in their court. Let's see if they can hit the game-winning shot. Because in the end, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark or even the WNBA. It's about the future of women's sports and the millions of girls who are watching, waiting, and dreaming of their moment in the spotlight. The story of women's basketball is still being written. And while Caitlin Clark may have penned the most exciting chapter yet, the book is far from over. The next move belongs to the WNBA. The world is watching. What will they do next? Till next time.